If you caught my live this morning, I was saying pretty important. Friday's candle here, really hoping we wouldn't close under that. That would be very bearish. It's still stage two. Just, if we're going into the close, we definitely want to be over the open on Friday's candle, back inside of the candle, which validates the candle, right? Which makes it that much more important. I mean, it's pretty, micro looking here. Like we want to be inside of Friday's move. We want to keep today's close, ideally, inside of Friday's. If it goes the other way, you do start the process of building a stage three. If you're just looking at it, you start the process of topping out, right? You can see the other ones as you look at them, which that's not what we want to see. Action, we want to, hopefully it keeps going forward and goes into our target here on the S&P 442 on the SPY. That's likely where it'll stop. It's stopped there 3 other times. We're using, it's stopped in that zone there several other times, and we're coming into it. So, and then we could still head down and you would have an overall downtrend, right? So you could still have an overall downtrend, and the S&P rallies up into the 200 and then turns and heads down. And that would be a stage 4 decline, and that would be the movement. That's the money flow. Price moving sideways, price breaking out, price runs up, price goes sideways, price comes down. And reason I get mad at people all the time with their price predictions. 1 is you don't know. 2, you're just guessing. And 3, what the fuck are we supposed to do with that information? Because you read something so we have to have, the whole point of the money flow is creating order out of chaos. And when things look good or look bad, it gives you, so maybe you think, it's just going to keep going and going and going. Well, the money flow would say, hey, you need to trim here. That's what you're supposed to do, You're supposed to trim here. So it keeps us thinking right on either side of the trade when maybe we don't feel it, maybe, whatever. So yeah, the overall trend is negative. Overall movement of the market has been down. We're below the 200, which sets up for a lot of great trades that run up to that 200 region. And it would be totally normal if the SPY got up close to that. You can be pretty positive the RSI is going to be banging up towards 70. And on the indexes, a lot of times it doesn't even go into the extreme zone. It just gets near it. Look, you can see that here and then here and then here. It it's just hard for it to get into extremes because it's a composite average of 500 stocks. It takes a lot to get 500 things to all to agree, man. But it does happen. And definitely when that happens, you want to be extra vigilant or extra alert, meaning whether it be to the extreme down or extreme up, man. So a lot going on in this SPY today. I would spend some time with this chart, look at it, spend some time with it. Yeah, I was just messing with it, Stephen. I just wanted to see the screen share process and what that did on my end when there were other people on there, and if I could mute them, unmute them, which I know you can do all that. I just hadn't done it with a group of people. I do these little Zoom meetings. I'm doing this campfire real estate thing. I do Zoom meetings with those guys all the time, but I'm just there. So as I've done all those with them, I'm like, shit, man, I need to start using this. So this zone, man, look at this. This zone in here, not, it's not perfect, but just look at this zone where we see price bouncing off the zone, bouncing off. Even when it dipped below, it then turned around and bounced off. On the way down, look, you see it got hung up in that zone. I don't know what's going on with that zone, that 425 zone, but it's like a magnet. You see it pulling it down to it, pulls it down to it, pulls it down, then it literally just comes right back, pulls it down. It's like pulling price. I don't know what's going on in that 425 zone. It's probably a fair value zone. A lot of companies are probably fairly valued in there. And so we're just getting this pendulum swing above it, below it, above it, below it. And in that, you'll see the movement of the four stages of price movement. Right now, though, everything looks good. The only thing I don't like, stochastics is already in the zone up here. Now, that doesn't mean it's done going down. Stochastics can go sideways for a long time. Ideally, you want that to happen. If you look back over here, if for an order for a sustained move to happen, stochastics is going to go extreme early on. If you were to look back, look at that. I mean, it's right around there, and then it just ran, man. It just ran up. So same thing over here. I'm going to say, where did stochastics go extreme? About right there. And then price kept running for another week, 2 weeks. So what are we just now hitting extreme here? So if we know how to, not extreme, but in the bands of extreme, in this, and I don't talk a lot about it, but slow stochastics there, we're just now pushing into the band, which should hopefully mean there's another week, 2 weeks, 5 to 10 more bars, which would take us up into that 425 range, which is where I thought we'd run into trouble. Not here. We're running into, let me clean this up. I know I probably look at the SPY, I don't know, maybe I don't. Maybe you guys look at it a lot, but I'm constantly looking for zones where price is getting hung up, and one is for a target, two is for a possible, stops. A stop is a target, right? It's a reverse of a target. It's to get you out, where a target's to get you out. A stop is to get you out, and a target is to get you out. They're getting you out on different things. One is getting you out, hopefully, into profit, and one is saving your ass, right? Purpose of a stop loss is to save yourself. The only reason I ever usually use one is if I'm going to just take a shot and use, and it's a large position. It's I don't trust it. I want to take a shot. I think this could play. I don't necessarily want to commit a lot of money to riding it down if it's wrong. So that's kind of what I'm asking myself when I start getting into the world of using stop losses. Stops are fine. You got to have if you're going to do them, you can't complain about them being hit because you're the one placing them. I had a guy yesterday on my live complaining, well, I got stopped out of Bitcoin. And I'm like, yeah, it's because you put in a stop. Duh. Now look at this sell-off in Bitcoin. That's big, dude. 5%, $1,600. Bam, just like that. Look where it stopped, though. So Bitcoin's scaring people. Look at that. Look where it stopped. Right at the 20, man. Like it was on purpose. Bam. That means something, man. It stopped right back in the box, dude. What does that mean? There's just enough buyers to stop this temporarily. So now people got to weigh it. Fuck, we're right back in the stage one zone. I mean, we're right back where we were. And that's not unusual. If you come over here, ask yourself, so if this is the pattern, and I'm talking about zoom in on this, if you were to zoom in on this for yourself or print it off, you got the sideways movement, you got price starting to go up, then it comes back down. Well, what do you see? I mean, you see Bitcoin doing that over here, starts to run up, comes back down, goes sideways, runs back up. You saw it over here, right? Starts to go up, comes back down. So this is not unusual movement for Bitcoin, and doesn't mean we can't still get a sustained run higher. And as long as price is printed above the 20, I'm creating order out of chaos. I'm just going to make the assumption that it's going to the level where it's gone before, up in here, 38 range, maybe a little higher. We'll see. Obviously, we break support, then we're going the other way. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. It could just as easily go up as down. I mean, fuck, I don't know. Any reasons people give, all right, that sounds good. Like, I don't know. Like, what takes it up, what takes it down? Money. I mean, end of the day, right? Yeah, like Scott says, it just depends on what your perspective. If you're short-term trading it, that's why I told my man, you got stopped out. You're short-term trading it. That's what happens. If you're a short-term trader and you get a 6% move against you, you're out. That's the way it works. If you're position trading, I mean, I don't understand why you would have had to stop that tight. My stops would have been down in here if I'm playing on the stage one. What does that mean? Meaning I'm giving this stage here room to develop, man. This trade ain't over until that breaks, right? if I'm using day charts. But again, that is a bigger view. That's a trade that could be what, weeks, months. It could take months to get up here. Weeks. Maybe it does this, and then tomorrow we go up a little, and then it comes back down, and we go up, and you're like, well, what do you mean? Like, look at Gilead. This is a prime example. We done forgot about this. This is what we want, man. I was telling the kid the other day, trading's boring, dude. He's like, what do you mean? Well, we get in a little bit, got in a little bit, right? These are stage 1 buys. Starts to break, doesn't come back down. All right, cool. Right? So all these stage 1s are chances to buy it. That's it. That's all I'm seeing them as I watch this pattern. If I'm in Gilead and the goal is to collect the 5% dividend, well, I only pay attention when it's in a zone that I want it. So as we start drifting higher, fuck it, we're done with this stock. And look where it banged. That bread and butter strategy. So if you're in the money flow gang, we talk about this. This is a magic zone, man. Look at this. I can just show you chart after chart after chart after chart where price on the way down gets stopped. It's like a magnet or a web, stops it, and price on the way up gets stopped. Now, I'm not making any determination. Does it keep going higher? Does it go lower? I don't know. I just know what it does as price moves through the 4 stages. And you see here, broke, ran up, right? Then we put in our 3. All the moving averages came together. There's our 4. And we could right here go, hey, man, this is an $80 stock, but it's $72. That may not be enough to keep it up, man. Let's see. So let's go to tip ranks real quick. What do they have on Gilead? While I'm on Gilead. What? Oh, man, I can't even type. Come on, man. Get your shit together, bro. $68. Not that high, right? So here we are at 64, 68. Look at that. That's where it stopped before, right? So that's cool. They got a 68 on it. It's come down a little bit. We're close to that. What do you bet when we get in that 68 range, the RSI is a 70, and price is what? Bumping up against true range. So now we got to ask ourselves, how many shares of this do I want to keep? I want to get that 5% dividend drip. I want to get it. And maybe they'll reevaluate it and take the stock higher. But often what happens before that happens, you're going to see it take a leg down. And what is that? Just a stage 4 decline. Meaning this down move really didn't have much. I mean, now we're going in an up move, right? And you're like, what are you seeing? Price goes stage 1, stage 2. Oh, too high. Full value down. And then bad news happens. The money keeps going down. And then it gets so low. They're like, fuck, this is on sale. It's a discount. It's below the 200. Institutional buyers start watching. What happens? Goes into a stage 1 accumulation, right? And this will just keep going on and on and on the rest of your life, man. Man, it's a beautiful thing, man. How many people we got on here? 68. I'm always in a better mood when I don't have Instagram on. I'm going to just have to start going on the subscription feed on Instagram for lives. People, they just ask the most ridiculous questions. I had a guy say, well, just ignore them. I can't, bro. That's not my content. I react to them. Okay? That's how it works. That's how it works. That's the Gerald Peters show. Look at AT&T and let's watch the flow. So if we're money flowers, what stage are we in, man? Come on. I wish we had it on a big board behind me. I need to do that. I need to get a big ass board behind me. And we all know, if we've been in it for a minute, that rhymed. $21, right? In it for a minute. This is a beautiful, beautiful example of how we get to win all the time. Not in all stocks, but in a lot of these Starbucks, Targets, Walmarts, Costco, these kind of things. The top 500 stocks. This is how you win in them, okay? And even non-500, but for certain, for sure as we can be, Sure as you can be in uncertain world, right? The government's going to tell you past performance not indicative of future results. Yeah, we get that. Yeah. It sure does look like it though. So as they come down, and we got that pivot point, and we got that went straight from a pivot to an anchor point, to a buy point. That's rare. This is rare. And you say, what do you mean? It gave us an anchor. We had an anchor, and then it broke the anchor. It immediately came back. On that day when it opened, back in the box, so to speak, back into that anchor zone. Super, super, super bullish, man. It's like, go. Fuck the rules. Go. It's bullish. It's like Hail Mary. And then you see what happens. It just took off. Never looked back. That happens. And on those, you got to be fast. And if it's a stock you like, sometimes it doesn't give you long. So if you're there and you're, well, I need my 5 days. You got to be able to read the little things. You got to be able to read the momentum moves. That's a huge move in AT&T. It was massive, super bullish move. And then you see what? It just drifts till what? Price got extreme. Then what happened? It came down. Huge move down, right? And as it drifts, what happens? It stops, right? Starts again. That was our anchor point on this one. And the funny thing is, not a lot changed about the company during this little move here. I mean, you can go find news. You can read on shit. You could see what was going on, what the Fed was saying, shit going down in Russia, all that. And yet somehow we all pay our cell phone bill and get through the day. And this thing moves around. So all of these stage ones were what? Just opportunities to what? Take profits in stage threes. Now, maybe in this one, you didn't want to take profit. And you're like, well, my position wasn't that big. Still building it. Don't really give a shit about taking profits. Don't need it. Comes back down, then maybe you got a little money, you got a bigger position. Now this time when it runs up, maybe it's changed this time. Maybe you're like, damn, I'm sitting on a nice bag here. Let me trim 10% and let me go buy whatever, right? Maybe you roll it to something with a higher yield, right? And that's where, you're rolling gains forward. You're adding to positions that are undervalued. They're under the 200. They're in a stage one, and you're taking gains from them. You don't have to. Don't feel obligated to take gains, but if you're rolling money forward, this is what you do. If you can't add money to your account, this is what you do, man. Especially if you can't add money to your account, man. So there is a homeless dude outside my window doing jumping jacks. I wish I could show you this. In the sun, bright daylight, sweating balls. All right, we're going to ignore the crazy people. Keep going. So you see that beautiful move. Now this pays you a nice drip, and look at, we could have got it at $17. Jeez Louise. What is wrong with the world? Yeah, so as we watch this play out, we can add to our favorite stocks, man. So Google is a growth one we added to. We're back even again. Remember, I started on the stage one. This is where I added stage one. I wasn't doing it because of the split, but the split is a little icing on the cake in the sense that it's undervalued. It's big time under the 200. It's still growing. So it's a large cap and a growth stock. Very profitable. Very profitable. We had our stage one there. Took a shot. It came down. We know that was super bullish. Back into this zone, right? So I fully anticipate we run to at least 27, 28. I was hoping we'd get the split early. I was hoping we'd get the split before we start hitting profit zones. I mean, that's likely to happen because then we could trim it. See? Like when it's $2,298 a share, the split does nothing to the value of the company, but it does now give us a way to take gains on a high dollar stock because it's not going to be as high dollar. So we'll be able to sell a share, 2 shares. I think if you buy one, they're going to give you 30. So that's kind of cool. Let's see, man. What's up, man? What's up? That was Google. Everything. I mean, honest, I'm feeling good, man. I was bullish. That's why I had to get off earlier. Like, fucking everybody's so negative. It pisses me off. Not everyone, I know. Some of you guys are not negative. I hate all the people that are soothsayers for the lower price. I had a guy, where's my guy, Alex? He's like, SPY 350. SPY 350. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why he's saying 350. I don't know if he had a dream or he's using this little support zone over here, or he has, magical insight into things. I don't know. I know we almost went extreme on the weekly chart. We put in an anchor point, and now we moved above the 5-day on a weekly. So this is the way price turns higher. Now, it may not go higher. I don't know. I just know what it looks like when it does. And you say, what do you mean? The last time it crashed, it put in an anchor point on the weekly chart, and price got above the 5-day moving average. So this pattern here, I don't know what was going on that day. This is my problem with news. I don't remember it. So it's hard for me to value it, meaning I don't know what the Fed was talking about here. We could go look. I really don't think anyone remembers, nor do they give a fuck. I don't think any of the concerns that we had here are now here, Shit worked out, moved on. So we got an extreme, for price to come down on a weekly into this 30 range is rare. Look, I mean, the last time you see it happen is back over here before you had a big run up. So I just follow the indicators and then let the money flow unravel. And I have no expectation of direction. I just assume this will happen. Price will go sideways, it'll break out, and then it'll go sideways, and it'll come down. And then I can value whether something's overvalued or undervalued and then go make an assessment. I don't really need to forecast the future, right? I don't need to know a lot of these things. Let's get off the weekly. Then I can just sit around and be positive, Gerald. Positive, Gerald, man. I'm trying to be positive, Gerald. So today, your lesson, go back each day here and really talk yourself what happened. Our anchor point. Maybe you call it something else. I don't know. Anchor points are alive. They move. Anchor point, right? Anchor point. Anchor point. Anchor point. They're turning points in the market, right? Turning points. And the ones that they can change as you're developing, but at the end of the day, they're confirmed after the fact. Meaning once this stage 2 breakout happened, this is now recorded in history as the anchor point of this move up. And when this happened, that day we drew it. And then the next day, and then price went under the 5. That tells us we have a stage 3 forming. But it's not confirmed in history for certain, because price could turn around, go fucking higher, right? We don't know. Right here, it could turn and then go on up, and you got a continued trend. When it's locked down, recorded for all history, everyone hear ye. It went under the 20, price turned down, and then what? We're now looking for the anchor point, the stage 1 anchor point, so that we can what? Right here, record it for history. Boom, that's it. So I had another influencer I got into it with. He's like, oh, it's not the bottom. And I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. And he said, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean it's not the bottom? Yeah, it's the fucking bottom right there. You can see it. That's the bottom. And, well, it might go down. No shit. Might go down, might go up, man. Like, you don't know. I don't know. I'm just the only guy admitting I don't know. I have no idea. I just know what bottoms look like. I know what tops look like. And if I can play my waiting game of my stocks and diversify myself and approach it intelligently and keep my head about me and make wise moves and always look for the deal and with the possible target and do it intelligently across different, the better I get at that craft, the better I get at this game, the better the understanding the 4 stages that I don't need to know. Man, what a lot of pressure comes off of me. I just focus on a state of, yeah, man, I know it was the pandemic. I was just trying to let you know you don't need to know. I know what it was. So we got our breakout. And what you see here is the birth of this right here. This and this are the same thing, man. So go back and look at this chart from a really, really, really intimate way. Like, and from here forward, you're like, anchor point, anchor point. There's my stage one. Look, price got above the 5-day moving average. There's 4 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my stage one. Boom. Next day, right on command. Stage two breakout. Next day confirms it. The next couple days, dude, this has been a big move. It's got to digest that. Is that strange to anyone that this would take a minute? Like, you just went from 380 low to 415 in a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a week and 2 days. That's a big move on the S&P 500, man. You know, does that mean? So I don't know. I'm agnostic whether it goes higher or lower. I do know the 200's up here, and I believe once a stage two happens and there is a 200 above you, the possibility of hitting it is there. That's what I know. So that's my target. Man, I hope that helped you guys. Oh, yeah, print that off, man, or play with it. Get intimate with it. Get on your computer, move these, do this shit that I do. I'm sure you do, man. Put it on there and be like, oh yeah, look at that little breakout right there. And look at those 5-day, look at them crossing. Go down and look and see, what's the TSI look like? Man, get all in, like, and be like, all right, let's do some support and resistance on the MACD. Right, you can do that. You can do chart patterns on the MACD, man. Come down here. Dig into the stochastics, and we know that getting in the zone could be the start of a 7-day move, man. You're like, what do you mean? This, right? When it got into that zone right there, look what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I could tell you something that'll blow your mind. So all my fellow influencers can steal it. But the number of times when that happens right here, and that number is 7, is shocking. You're like, what do you mean? Meaning, okay, that failed, right? Didn't do it. It got up there, but it didn't do it. The number of times when it gets into that extreme where the number is 7 before it turns down is crazy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My thing is fucking up. This one over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you run that back, my thing's fucking up. That the number of times slow stochastics, when it goes into the zone, if it holds the zone, the extreme zone, this is the extreme zone, before it comes out, and you're like, what do you mean by come out? I've never heard anybody talk on this, but right here, when it comes back down, these is the only signals I give a fuck about: going in, coming out, going in, right? Going in. That thing is fucking up. And then we got a little choppy on this one. It didn't stay down there long, does it? But, you know, get down in there and dig on these, man. So when you get in there, just look for weird things. Like, so when you see stochastics, and they won't stay that way. Don't misunderstand me. And you may only find weird occurrences at certain times. Like maybe it just tends to do it to the upside. Why? Because 70% of the time stocks go up, you know? And so you're going to get a lot more 7-day readings to the upside than the downside. Maybe. I don't know. You just got to go play with them. You know, that was ultimately why I began using the MACD for momentum. I just didn't find it added any value to my trading to use it for anything else. The crossover doesn't mean anything. When the crossover happens, shit, it's already breaking out of a stage 1 into a 2, and it's probably above the 20. So that didn't add any value. What added value to me was this, you know, the momentum. And right now the momentum is still to the upside according to the MACD. So until I get a new bar that ticks down, the momentum's to the upside, you know. So I just began to use the MACD, the histogram, more as a momentum indicator. The rollovers are fine, but the other indicators will tell you that too. I mean, if you go look to where it's rolling over, you know, what was it right here? That right there was the day. I mean, right there you're getting a stage 1 buy signal. So you'd have got it with the money flow or with the MACD. The real value the MACD adds is the histogram momentum, you know. And if you're like, what do you mean? meaning the momentum, not the crossover. Now, I talk about the crossover in the book because I got to teach it, but if you come over here and just tag the tops, I mean, just on your own, go tag tops, just backing up, past performance is not indicative of future results. We all know that. No shit. But what I'm looking for is the histogram start ticking the other way. That's the value of the histogram. Because what that tells me is momentum has stopped. And now if I combine that with other indicators, sometimes they'll line up perfect. Sometimes they're just going to be screaming at you, all 6 of them banging. You know what's coming then, right? Same on the bottom. Man, I hope that helps. Anybody got any? We don't need to look at any stocks, but you got any questions? Stochastic's cool. I don't teach on it a lot. Look at us coming back, dude. We might go fucking green. Now, Scott, I personally use slow stochastics. You could use full. I just find slow is in line. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't need any of these. This is what I'm doing. The 4 stages of price movement. I've found the 20-day moving average is the great trigger that once I can establish a pivot point, it makes it easier to establish the stage 1, the 4 days sideways, price above the 5-day EMA. Once that happens, I can build out the stage 1. Makes the breakout easier to identify. That's what the 20 does. But as far as the moving averages, what I'm really looking at is the relationship of the 5-day, the 10-day, and the 20 together. What's their relationship? Are they numerically aligned correctly? And is price above them? Right now, is the 5 above the 10 and the 10 above the 20? Yes. Where's price? Above 5. Super fucking bullish. So anyone that says negative, to me, is the enemy. They're doing a different strategy than me. They're not me. So any voice that comes from them, I got a discount. Fuck them. Can't listen to you, bro. Blah, blah, blah. I got to block it out, man. I got to defend my way of thinking, my strategy. You can't let your strategy be open to fucking interpretation all the time. People are like, Gerald's closed-minded. Yeah. And they're like, what about don't give a fuck, dude. At all. Go away. Why? Because that keeps me disciplined, dude. People will come and fuck with your discipline. They'll come and try to get you to change their strategy just because they think they're smart. And they might be smart. He might have a fucking PhD for all I know. But I don't give a shit. I really don't care about how smart someone is. This is what I watch. And this has helped me. I've watched this play out for the 14 years I've been following the basic concept of money flow, refining it over the last 7 years to the point where it's not open for interpretation because I haven't squirreled. I'm not, what about this? What about that? It's fucking this. Every day, over and over, trying to refine this. And I know there's a lot of people that'll disagree with me and be like, but you're going to change with the changing environment. No, you change. I'm not changing shit. Nothing. I'm going to keep doing the exact thing I did yesterday. And what I've found is that has allowed me to build tremendous wealth over other people who are like me. What do you mean like you? Meaning just blue collar guys, man. So when markets change, I don't change. I don't. I might become a defensive. But that's going to naturally play out on the charts. And you're like, what do you mean? Well, all my oil stocks are worth a lot of money right now. I didn't need to worry about shorting and this and that. I needed to ride my oil stocks up. So through the process of learning money management and building out a portfolio and watching the stocks every day and seeing the breakouts and looking at what's on sale, that's allowed me to have shit right now that's making a lot of money. So I don't need to change. I need to keep doing what I was doing, and I need to do it better and better and better. So every day I need to get more intimate with, can I spot the stage 3? Can I spot the 1, the 2? I don't need to change. I don't need to, because some new asset comes out, I don't need to go do it. I had a guy yesterday was, talking about Buffett not liking, I love Bitcoin. He's like, but Buffett hates it because he's fucking rich, dude. Unlike you, he doesn't have to go squirreling it. He's not chasing anything, man. He's doing what he did 55 years ago. He wakes up and does that same thing every day. I have money. Where's the deal? He didn't, when tech came out, he's not like, I got to run over here and do that. Now you can. I'm not talking about not adding. I'm not saying don't look at new sectors and stuff. I'm just saying you don't have to. The real secret to building wealth is doing the same thing over and over. The secret to building a body is the repetition of exercise and the repetition of eating the same shit over and over. You can be like, well, I like to experiment. All right. But I'm just telling you what works. Steak, chicken, high protein, lean diet, exercise, lift weights. That works. Now, you may get to a point where you've maximized that. Like all of a sudden you just ain't gaining the way you used to gain. All right, that's a different conversation. But when you start learning a strategy, understand all these voices are going to come and try to change it. Dude, today I'm going to go live with a day trader today. And I'm going to have followers watch my interaction with a day trader. And they're going to hit me up and be like, hey, Gerald, you think I should day trade? No. Let me say right now, no. I don't think you should at all. He's a guest on my Instagram. I'm not going to run off and day trade because I spoke to a day trader. No, I'm not going to change the money flow at fucking all, no matter what he says. Nothing. He doesn't, nothing. You get what I'm saying? Doesn't mean I can't talk to him or have a conversation with him, because there are people that like to day trade. But it's not going to influence my trading one iota. There's nothing anyone can going to say. Once you get this and know what a breakout looks like and what you're trying to do and the difference between accumulation, uptrend, downtrend, and distribution, and once you realize the type of trader you are and the time frame, that doesn't mean I don't like day trading. It means if I was day trading, then that's what I would do. I would do that. I wouldn't do this and then a little of that and then try this and then do that. That doesn't work. It takes a long time for these strategies to play out. Even if you're doing an option strategy, you got to bang it every day, man. Perfection takes a while. Whether it's sticking with it, whether it's building conviction, building out the portfolio, getting enough money into the business. Like being a trader is not so much about trading, but it's a commitment to trading. Right? Some people are just not committed. They don't have a commitment lifestyle. Well, I had to work for a couple of weeks, so I've been out. Okay. I don't live like that, so I don't know the response to that. I mean, because I do this every day, man, no matter what. Like, I just do it all the time. So I don't know how to respond to those things. Other than consistency is what's going to make you. Stage 2 breakout happening right now on MO. We got a short target though, man. Be careful, man. Guard what you're doing. That's even for me. If your shit's different than mine, we don't need to argue. Go do you. Go do it, because I'm not changing. Go do that. You got to guard yourself, man. I'm not a believer in taking in all kinds of information from different sources. Most sources are wrong. So we got to narrow it down, man. And then when you get shit that's right, max squeeze it. Get all the juice out. Once it's all out, maybe we need a new orange. But until you've gotten it all out, now, I just started working with these real estate dudes, and I haven't even touched the surface checking on the U-Pro. Oh, man. We got to stay up, man. We got 30 minutes. We're right there. You get what I'm saying, right? The close needs to stay above that low. This close right here. We need to stay above that. I'm working with Mark, Dan, and Welby, man, and they know so much stuff that I don't know about real estate. And I got to stay on that, man. I got to look at it, and I got to keep rolling it against what I do. And there's some things I'm just like, I don't do that. That's not me. And I'm not going to do it. Just because that works for you, I'm not doing it. That's not what I do. That's not my model. I'm not open to necessarily changing it. I'm open to listen. I'm open to looking, but it's not open to, what I do works. What I do every day works. So I gotta maximize it. So protect it. That's my message. We look good, man. I hope the close goes well, man. Yeah, I love ETRN. Yeah, fuck the banks. They don't know what they're doing. Especially don't listen to banks. I have a question about sectors. Do you cycle in a pattern or is it random? Just need to pay attention to which one is getting the momentum. Yeah, man. There's no predict. You could study economics and go, okay, when this happens, that usually happens. Jim Cramer's got some good shit of that in his books. I know everybody likes to hate on Jim, but Jim's smarter than all of you guys and me. He's just, sometimes smart people get on the wrong side of the market. There's this belief out there that like, well, if you got this wrong, then you don't know what you're doing. That's complete nonsense, because everyone will get that wrong. Buffett gets shit wrong. Ray Dalio, Kathy Woods, Mike, all kind of billionaires fail, bust out. It's called falling forward fast. You learn more from mistakes than getting it right. So if you've only value getting it right or winning trades, you're fucked. You'll never be successful, because it's not about that. A lot of times it's about failing. Let's see. The other thing with Kramer is he has an opinion every day. Everyone else doesn't. And you're like, what do you mean? Meaning he has to put his on record. Nobody else does. And so we all take shots at him, but we're not putting our opinion for public scrutiny every day. And I wonder if we did, how many of us would look about as dumb. Let's see. Where's my... So I make fun of Kramer too, but keep in mind he is a smart dude, man. Yeah, so I usually just come over, IAK, that's insured CTF. Stage 2. Does that look familiar to you? There's the pattern, right? So if I'm looking to rotate, and if I'm looking for a rotation into insurance stocks, what am I looking for? Stage 1s, right? So as I look at the money flow pattern, I'm looking at stage 1s. Now, could news help me? Sure. Maybe you read an article in Barron's about insurance companies being undervalued, and then they go into a dive, and you remember that article, and you wrote down your notes, and now you see it setting up, and you're like, oh, here's my chance. That's how you use news. Let's go back. Keep going. There's the home builders ETF. We were talking about this one before. Way under the 200. A lot of drama right now in real estate. Everybody's all bearish. That makes me bullish. I think real estate's going up. I think the prices are going higher. You know why? Because everyone I know who doesn't own real estate thinks it's going down. So I know you guys are wrong. Every guy I know in real estate thinks the price is going down. If you know me, for as long as you know me, I told you it's going up. And I've been right. And I think it's going higher even more. And I think in the future, it's going to come down. All the rich people own the property and all the poor people are renters. And that's just the way society's going to be separated. Materials, stage 2. Everything's in a stage 2. Look at this. XL Communications. Oil's doing its thing, right? We've been finance it. So when was our bank buy? Right here. Stage 1. Bam. Right there. Way under the 200. There's financials. So this is how you do it, man. You do every day. Just go through and look at each sector. Write down little notes to yourself. Buy my notebook. Let's see. Yeah, staples, consumer staples. We've been in these. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Walmart, that kind of shit. Those are all been under pressure, right? So we can go look. The other thing is we talk about this all the time. If you need to bail, do that. But XLP, we could go look. What are the top stocks inside the XLP? We're going to get a lot of great stocks to trade. They're setting up on stage 1 right now. Target being $80. You want to push some leverage? Go buy the triples, man. Like, this is good shit. Look at the real estate right here. We're about to go higher. Real estate's going up. Let's see. Utilities turned green. We're now green on our utility trade. Look at this. You see why I got mad this morning on Instagram? I can't take it. I can't talk to stupid people every day, dude. I lose it. I can't take it. I am not mentally equipped. I have too much money and I'm too old. I just can't do it anymore. Everyone's so negative. Look, there's our target. So do you see how, like, no matter what is going on in the economy in the world, my strategy does not change. That's our target. I have no opinion. It's going up, and that's where it's going. And if it doesn't, then it's going down, and this is where it's going. And if it breaks that, it's going down, and this is probably where it's going. And if it goes up, we could go to a month. We'd have to go back to the weekly and see if there's anything higher, but I don't think there is. So we didn't need to be short in the market. We got shit going up. Let's see. I got a parade coming by the house now. Yep, go through, man. If you notice what's down, retail. Retail stocks are down. What else is down? Consumer staples, down. That should be an alert. Go look at the stocks in there. Home builders, down. Here comes a parade. Look at the S&P Telecom ETF. We're getting into the weird ones now. That's going up. All right, that's enough. I got off track, man. I got a parade coming. I got to go party. New mic sounds good. Appreciate that, Chris. I'm trying to work on my setup. I'm doing this thing with Campfire Real Estate. We got to have better cameras. I got a better camera. I had to get better mics. They want me to professional my shit up. And I said, all right, I'm going to be nice too, man. I'm not going to yell. And they said, don't do that. Yell at people. So I don't even know what to do about that. I was going to try to be nice, Gerald. They told me not to. I said, well, they said, just go off what you feel. Oh, you can't hear the parade? It's getting closer. Oh. Yep. It's turning on the other street. Yeah, man. He said, don't yell at people. All right, man. You guys be good. Appreciate you.